Hi, it's Sandra from Savvy Teaching Tips. I'm here today with another classroom tip. Today I really wanted to talk about, initial setup at the beginning of your year, because especially if you're new to teaching, you may not know exactly everything that you need in your classroom. Or maybe you've moved to a new school and it's the first time anything's ever been set up in your classroom. I had this experience. I moved into the classroom that I am now 20 years ago. It was a brand new wing, so no one had ever been in that classroom before, and I had a complete blank slate, and I really kind of was like, oh, now what? So these are the areas. I'm going to list off the areas that I think you need to have in your classroom. A primary classroom, especially K-2, but grade 3 as well. You need a teacher desk area. You need to think about that. Do I need a big desk? Personally, I need a big desk. I have been teaching a long time. I have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of teacher books and I have a lot of things. But maybe you're a young teacher and everything's on your computer. If you have everything on your computer, maybe you don't need a big desk area. So that's something to think about. I like having my own area so that the kids, I invite them in. If I'm sitting at my desk and they want to talk to me, they stand near my desk area. It gives me a little bit of space away from the crowding of little kids, because sometimes that can be really overwhelming. There's the sink area, which is also what I use as the art area. So I keep all the art supplies there, but it's also easy for cleanup to be close to the sink area. There's the coat hook area where the kids hang up their coats and they hang up their backpacks and they have their inside shoes if they need them, and their boots and those sorts of things. I have a carpet area, and I have to say I had to roll it up during COVID for a couple of years, but now I've been allowed to open it up again to have a carpet area, and boy did I miss it. Making kids stay in their desks the whole day was just excruciating. So being able to get the kids to come down to the carpet to talk to me, go back to their desk to do something, keep them moving, is something I need. It's very essential to my classroom management plan. So where am I going to put the carpet area? Well, you need to put it around your projector or your smartboard, your whiteboard, that sort of area. So if you have flexibility in where you're going to use your projector, great. But like my room, I have a smart board. It's on the wall. That's where it is. So I have the carpet in front of that. Now, I also have my calendar wall where we do our daily calendar. And I know there's people that discussing whether or not they think calendar is important. And I have to say, calendar is essential, and I will do a whole other video on why I think calendars are important. But I really think the routine of calendar and the repetition of the skills that you're teaching during calendar is a really low stress way to introduce kids to concepts and really help them with lots of math. Now, if you have a lot of books, you're going to need a library area. So and if you don't have a lot of books, you still need an area to keep the books that you do have. And when I started my teaching career, I didn't have very many books. The school I was at didn't have a lot of money, and so I only had a few, maybe half a bookcase worth of books. So I went to the library every week and I signed out about 50 or 60 books at a time. And my librarian was amazing. So I would go in and I would grab a huge stack of books, and then she would sign them all out, and then I'd send kids to bring them in, and then I'd bring my old books back. And we got through so many books that way, but it was a cheap way for me to use to build my classroom library, or to Anyway, you're going to need an area for your classroom library. Then you need to think about, where are the students sitting when they do their seat work? Do they have tables? Do they have desks? Are you doing flexible seating? Whatever you're doing, you have to have space for it. And you need to make sure that you have, set them up and see that there's enough room for the kids to flow through them, and it's not too close together, because it can get, you really can get traffic jams in elementary school. And you don't want anybody to get hurt. As far as the classroom, there's also, you need to store things. So most classrooms you have math manipulatives. So I have a bookcase full of tubs that's specifically for math manipulatives. The student notebooks, some people let them keep them in their desks. That drives me crazy. I keep each type of student notebook in a bin. So we've got one for socials, one for science, we've got their journal, we've got their spelling book, we've got their songs and poems books, their guided reading books. I've got tons of different notebooks and duotangs, things like that, folders. So I have a whole bookcase dedicated to that with bins in it, and that's where we keep them. You have to think about, if you're doing literacy centers, where are you storing them and how are you going to pass them out? How are the kids going to access them? You need to think about things like math centers, if you're doing that on top of using math manipulatives, and student supplies. So for years and years and years, I've done communal supplies. And I had a specific, I think it was the math manipulative bookcase. On top of that, I would have a bucket of pencils, a bucket of erasers, a bucket of glue sticks and scissors, and etc. And kids would go up and get. But since COVID, I've tried to give the kids more of their own things to keep in their desk. So there will be some, but there are some things like rulers, scissors. I have those out in tubs. So I have a spot where it's easy for the kids to access. And you got to think about, during that time when the kids are going to go and get the scissors, do they need access to this from multiple angles? Because you're going to have 5 kids running to that bin at once. Or can I have it in a small space where I only send one child at a time? So something to think about. There are other things you could use in your classroom. Like I have a whole area, because I don't have a closet, I have a whole area of my room that's kind of sectioned off with bookcases to store all of my supplies. But I've got 30 years of teaching in a very underfunded district. So I have bought and begged and borrowed and stealed to get what I have. And I will do a video on how you can get cheap or free supplies for your classroom in the future. But I also have that kind of an area in my room. And another one I just remembered that I had forgotten about. If you do guided reading or you do small group activities and you have a rainbow table or a kidney table, you need to have a space for that. And there needs to be space for the kids to get in and out of their seats so they're comfortable. And those are all the things that you need when you're putting your classroom together. So I hope that was a little clearer than I think it came across to me. Anyway, so I hope you found this useful. So if you did, please like, subscribe, ring the bell. And don't forget my Facebook page and my Instagram at Savvy Teaching Tips, my blog, savvyteachingtips.com, and my TikTok at Savvy Teaching. And that's all for today. Bye.